Breaking news out of L.A. A music industry mogul under arrest after a deadly hit and run. Suge Knight, a hip-hop figure who's had run-ins with the law in the past, is being held on $2 million bail, accused of running down his own friend.
Please, please, God told me to ask y'all for help. I need your help. I need your help. I can't do it alone. I'm overwhelmed. I'm going crazy. God, I beg you, I beg you, I beg you. Please. But I'm fighting this fight, and to other people, it's an impossible dream. It's not impossible. It's going to happen. A lot of you don't know about this because it's been hidden. All the shit, everything's been hidden. Everything that you know is a lie. We wasn't messing with nobody. These folks were so jealous, they figured out a way to get a plane and drop bombs on us. I'm tired of this shit. They burnt me and be a broke nigga, no money, talking about the same shit they was talking about 100 years ago. And I'm not doing that.
To be honest, I don't think any bail is enough for him.
It's like she watches Empire and comes in and says he's an unrepentant and shame.
In the world of music and legal showdowns, things just got real interesting. So picture this hip-hop heavyweight Shay Diddy Combs, the man behind some of the industry's biggest hits, is in the hot seat, and guess who might be showing up as his surprise witness? None other than the infamous Suge Knight. Yeah. You heard that right. It's like the ultimate hip-hop face-off, but in the courtroom people are talking, speculating, and frankly freaking out a little bit. Diddy's nerves are on edge, and you can practically feel the tension in the building. This legal duel between these two giants promises to be off-the-charts dramatic, and we're all waiting with bated breath to see how it unfolds. Stay tuned, because things are about to get seriously wild as Diddy freaks out after Suge Knight is called to testify against him. Music. Back in 1995, Tupac Shakur found himself locked up in Rikers Island prison, facing some serious sexual assault charges. During this time, a fellow in the rap scene named Suge Knight came along and made an offer. He'd put up the hefty $3 million bail to get Tupac out of jail, but there was a catch. Suge said, "I'll do it, but you've got to sign with my record label, Death Row Records." At that point, Tupac was on fire in the music world, and everyone knew he had already signed a deal with Interscope, but it seemed like they didn't quite know how to handle his talent. Schneid, on the other hand, had a knack for spotting talent and saw the potential in Tupac. He went to the head honor at Interscope, Jim Iovine, and basically said, "Give me Tupac's contract. I know how to make the most of it." So she paid the bail, got Tupac out of prison, and turned him into a death row artist. Unfortunately, just a year later, Tupac's life was tragically cut short when he was gunned down in a drive-by shooting on the Las Vegas Strip. Things started to turn sour between Dr. Dre and Suge Knight when Tupac Shakur was signed to their label. Tupac became the primary focus of the label's commercial efforts. In 1996, Dr. Dre decided to part ways with Knight and set up his own record label called Aftermath. Suge Knight found himself in a feud with the East Coast record label Bad Boy, led by Shay Puffy Combs. This feud revolved around territorial disputes and the battle for dominance in the music industry. Tragically, this feud led to two major incidents: the drive-by shooting of Tupac Shakur in September 1996 and the killing of the Notorious B in March 1997. Shay Knight was in the car with Tupac during the fatal shooting, and he is held responsible for at least one of these violent incidents. Now that Key D is arrested, Diddy's involvement might also be coming out, and Diddy is scared that if Suge were to testify, things would go down the drain for him. Diddy appears to be facing mounting concerns about his potential involvement in the Tupac Shakur case. As more individuals are speaking up, rapper 50 Cent recently added to the conversation by mentioning Diddy in relation to the hip-hop legend's death and the arrays of Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, a suspect in the murder case. In what seems like a provocative move, 50 Cent advised Diddy that it's time to layer up as the investigation into Tupac's death reaches a critical juncture. But what about Suge? Will he go ahead with it? In the years that followed Tupac's tragic death, Suge Knight faced a series of legal troubles. In 2002, he was imprisoned for violating his probation related to a previous charge of assault with a deadly weapon. Just a year later, he landed back in jail for assaulting a parking lot attendant. At one point, his financial struggles were evident when he filed for bankruptcy, claiming to have a meager $112 in his account. In 2015, a highly publicized incident occurred when Knight ran over two individuals, Terry Carter and Claiborne Sloan. K. Bones Sloan was working as a technical advisor on the film Straight Outta Compton. It was widely known that Knight was not pleased about the movie being made. According to Reggie Wright, a childhood friend of Knight's, people King on the film were informing Suge that the movie was starting to feel like a death row movie with a character resembling him beating up individuals in the studio. Suge felt like his likeness was being used in the movie without his consent. Footage of the incident cap Ed Knight's vehicle pulling up to a drive-in hamburger shop with one of the victims approaching the driver's window. Then Knight's truck reversed, throwing one man to the ground and hitting another victim the day after the incident. Knight turned himself into the authorities, with his attorneys arguing that he acted in self-defense. As of now, there is growing speculation and interest surrounding the possibilities Suge Knight is being called in as a witness to testify in a case involving Shay Diddy Combs. This speculation arises from claims and rumors that suggest Diddy may have had some involvement in the murder of Tupac Shakur. The link between Shay and Diddy is an intricate one, as both were prominent figures in the rap industry during the 1990s and were known to have tensions and disputes, including the infamous East Coast-West Coast rivalry. Given their history and circumstances surrounding Tupac murder, the possibility of Shay Knight providing crucial information in a legal case involving Diddy is generating significant interest. However, recently rap mogul Suge Knight has made it clear that he won't be testifying against Dwayne "Keefe" D. Davis, a suspect in the murder of Tupac Shakur. It's a perplexing situation because Knight happens to be one of the last living witnesses to the tragic incident, and notably was driving the car in which the iconic rapper was shot. Speaking from his current residence, the California State Prison, where he's serving a 28-year sentence for voluntary manslaughter. Knight also took issue with the accusation that Davis's nephew, the late Orlando "Baby" Lane Anderson, was the person behind the wheel during the drive-by shooting that claimed Shakur's life. Knight's stance on the matter is quite the firm. He explained in an interview with TMZ, "It was only two people in the car and P not going to tell the story. I ain't gonna tell the story. But I tell you this, and I never had nothing bad to say about Orlando because he wasn't a shooter. It wasn't awesome, so that's all I got to say about that point." For those unfamiliar with the tragic events, Tupac Shakur was struck by multiple bullets on the night of September 7, 1996. He was seated in the passenger seat of the BMW driven by Knight. They had come to a stop at a red traffic light near the Las Vegas Strip when a white Cadillac pulled up alongside them, and gunfire erupted. Tragically, the rapper succumbed to his injuries a week later at the tender age of 25. The case surrounding his murder has remained an unsolved mystery for a staggering 27 years. Recently, there was a significant development in the case when Davis, aka Keefe D, was arrested in Las Vegas. This arrest represents a pivotal moment in the ongoing investigation into the 1996 killing of the Bay Area hip-hop legend, offering a glimmer of hope in finally unraveling the mystery that has haunted the music world for nearly 3 decades. Suge Knight made his position crystal clear when asked about testifying during the trial. He flatly stated that he wouldn't take the stand for anyone. "I'm not going to give him to stand and testify on somebody for what I wouldn't go. I wouldn't testify." None of Knight's reluctance to testify is rooted in his long-standing belief that he was the intended target of the shooting that took Tupac Shakur's life. He is convinced that the tragic incident resulted from a dispute over control of Death Row records, a belief he expressed in a 2017 interview by suggesting that his ex-wife Shira Golden had a hand in orchestrating it. At 58 years old, Suge Knight holds a significant place in history of gangster rap, which thrived in the 1990s. His label Death Row Records boasted iconic artists like Tupac Shakur, Dr. Dre, and Snoop Dogg among its roster. However, Knight's control over the company slipped away when it was compelled to declare bankruptcy in 2006, marking a significant turning point in his tumultuous journey within the music industry. Suge Knight's legal history includes prior felony convictions for armed robbery and assault with a gun. In 1995, he pleaded no contest to charges stemming from an incident in which he assaulted 2 rap entertainers at a Hollywood recording studio. In 1992, as a result, he was placed on 5 years probation. Unfortunately, he found himself behind bars in February 1997, sentenced to prison for violating the terms of that probation due to his involvement in a fight at the MGM Hotel on the Las Vegas Strip. which occurred just hours before Tupac Shakur was fatally wounded in the drive-by attack. Now, there's a concerted effort to convince Suge Knight to testify, and the reason is quite significant. Dwayne "Key" Davis is the last living individual among the 4 people who were in the vehicle from which shots were fired at Tupac Shakur and Suge Knight. The others in the vehicle included Terrence "Bubble" Brown and DeAndre "Freaky" Smith. With Suge knowing some major things in a legal context, his potential testimony is seen as pivotal, as he could potentially provide information regarding the events of that fateful night. The account of someone who was directly present during the incident, especially one who might have knowledge about the circumstances leading up to it, could greatly impact the outcome of the case. So officials are making efforts to persuade Suge Knight to testify, recognizing that his testimony could be a make or break factor in the proceedings. So what do you think? Will Suge testify? Comment down below. And let us know if you like this video. Click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon to be the first to see my next video. I post updates like this every week where I uncover the secrets of your favorite celebrities.